Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and today we're going to begin making Christmas dinner. Yes, I said Christmas dinner. This Christmas is going to be a very special Christmas. I'm going to be doing an Italian Christmas with 7 fishes. So I am going to highlight a fish meal once a month up until November, and we're going to start this month with fish pie. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. My name is Doug, and today we are going to start making Christmas dinner. Now, I know you think I'm crazy because it's, so early, but what I'd like to do is I'm going to highlight one fish meal a month, and it's going to be one of the courses for our 7 fishes for Christmas. So, it's Italian tradition to have 7 different types of fish prepared, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a recipe. We're going to do a recipe every month, and then this way you get to practice it, and when it comes time for Christmas, you'll know how to make all 7. And we're going to start out with fish pie. Now, fish pie is so delicious, and the ingredients that I'm going to use are a little bit unusual, and we're going to start with talking about leeks. Now, this is a leek. It looks like a really large green onion or scallion, and leeks are in the onion family, and they are milder and sweeter than a regular onion. So these go really well with dishes like this. Now, when you get a leek, you got to clean it really well because it has all these different layers in here. And we're not going to use the dark green part because that's really hard. We're only going to use the white and a little bit of the light green, just a little bit. And we're going to cook these up in some butter first. We're going to chop it up and then cook them up in butter, like I stated. But these are going to give such a nice, mild, sweet flavor to this dish. Okay, so I'm almost done chopping up my leek, and I'm only using 1 leek for this dish. So that's what you'll need. But look how small I cut that up, chop that up. That's exactly what you want. And now we're going to take a look at our fish. Okay, so for this fish dish, we are using wild Alaskan cod fillets, and they come frozen like this. I got these at the store, and they're individually wrapped, but you need to thaw them, and you have to take them out of all the packaging, including, let me show you. It comes individually packaged like this, and they even give you a little note on there that says, remove from vacuum packaging, thaw under refrigeration immediately before use. So these have to remain frozen until you're ready to use them. So it says for thawing, to put them in the refrigerator overnight, which we're going to be using 2 fillets for this dish. So cod is really a great choice for this dish because it's light, it's flaky, it's very mild. It doesn't have really that strong fishy odor. So I love using cod for this dish. Okay, so next we are cutting up our fish, and we are cutting it up into these little bite size. Now, one thing you have to be aware of when you're using fish is that it might have little bones in it. However, cod that is prepared like this usually doesn't. And they do a pretty good job to make sure there are no bones, but you might find little tiny pin bones. So you just kind of rub your fingers on the fillet, and if anything is sticking out, then it might be a pin bone, and you can use sterilized tweezers to kind of pull them out. Okay, so like I said, I'm just cutting this into bite-sized cubes, and we're almost done doing that. Okay, so in a pot, I'm going to turn on the flame, And we are going to heat the bottom up a little bit. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to melt our butter, and then we're going to add our leeks to it. Okay, so you can see our butter is melted. We're going to add our leeks. And we're going to cook these up just until it gets soft. They smell so good. Now, while leeks are cooking, we're going to heat up 2.5 cups of milk. We want to get our milk hot but not boiled. We're using 2.5 cups. I'm going to heat up my milk on a low to medium flame. I'm going to keep an eye on it. You want to keep an eye on your leeks too. Going to add a little salt to it and a little pepper. Probably like a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of salt. Give that a nice stir. Check my milk. Make sure you stir your milk. We want to get our milk hot but not boiling. Next, I'm going to add another tablespoon of butter to the leeks. The leeks are soft now, but I'm going to add just a little extra butter because we're going to be adding flour. And we're going to be stirring it in with the hot milk. Let me check on my milk. You want it hot but not boiling. I'm going to get my whisks ready. I'm using this long whisk. This is a good whisk for this. You don't want to use a real short one, but this long one is really nice. Okay, so my milk is almost done. I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now, you can see it says 1/4. It's pretty much to the top. My milk is looking good. Has just a little bit more to go. I'm going to start to put the flour in here. I'm going to go with the whisk and stir that into the butter and the leeks. Now watch what I do. My milk is hot. You don't want to do all the milk at once. I'm going to put up the flame just a little bit. I'm going to add some more milk. Add some more milk. Give it a good stir. See how thick it's getting? Now, if it gets too thick, just add more milk, but that should be good. I'm going to add the rest of the milk. And you can see it's bubbling, and that's what you want. Okay, I'm going to lower the heat now. Using a wooden spoon to show you. Look how nice that sauce is. Can you see how nice? That is great. Into that sauce, I'm going to use lemon juice from about half a lemon. Stir that in. We're adding a 1/4 cup of dill that has been chopped. If you don't like dill, you can always use parsley. Parsley is milder, but I just love dill and lemon and fish. Goes so great together. Give that a couple of nice stirs. We're going to add some salt and pepper. Maybe a teaspoon of pepper. Now, salt and pepper, of course, is to taste. So if you find you want to add more to yours, you can. A little bit more salt, maybe. Look at that. That is so nice. What a beautiful sauce. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the fish to this hot sauce, and the fish is going to cook in the sauce. We're going to cook that fish until it turns white. That smell of fish and dill and lemon. Yum. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit more salt. Probably about a teaspoon. And some extra black pepper. And you can see that our fish is cooking up nicely in the hot sauce. Now we're going to start to work on our souffle. For our souffle, we're going to add 5 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to put this on a low heat. We're going to melt our butter. Okay, so for our souffle, we need to beat up 1 egg white. You can use a whisk to do that. I just find it easier to use the handheld mixer. And we're going to start making our souffle. Okay, so you can see our butter has melted. Our 5 tablespoons of butter. I am putting in here half a block of cream cheese. We're going to melt that into the butter. I'm also going to add, this is around half a cup of sharp cheddar cheese. I'm going to stir that together and melt that. Now, while our cheeses are melting, let me show you what I did with our breadcrumbs. Okay, so I'm using 5 pieces of white bread. And this is like day-old bread, so it's slightly stale, not too bad, but you can definitely use stale bread for this. I'm taking off the crust, and I'm going to be cutting up these little cubes. Basically, we're going to make croutons. So as you can see, I'm just slicing one bread at a time, one slice of bread. Now you can do like a couple and line them up and cut them that way if you'd like. I just wanted to show you how I'm cutting up these little cubes. And that's all we're going to do. Next, you can see I have a frying pan here. I'm going to be adding about a tablespoon of butter. You want to melt your butter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our pieces of bread, or little cubes of bread, our croutons, and we're going to add it to the frying pan. And we want to just kind of toast them until they get a little slightly golden. And we're going to be adding some pepper to the bread and also some parsley. Now you can add fresh parsley if you want. I'm using dried parsley and probably around 2 teaspoons or so. I'm doing enough just to coat the top basically. Okay, you want to give it a few good tosses, make sure you mix it well, and you just want to, like I said, until it's about slightly golden color. Okay, so I wanted to show you how this is melted, and it's a really pretty color too with that sharp cheddar cheese. If you wanted to use white cheddar, you could. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add that egg white. Just going to fold that in like that. And I'm going to add about half of these breadcrumbs. We'll just fold that in. Actually, we're going to do just a little bit more than half. Okay. We just want a little bit that's not folded in because it's going to add some crispiness to the top of our baking dish, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so the flame is off, and this is what it should look like. Nice. Okay, and now let's start arranging our baking dish. Okay, welcome back. So I have my baking dish here, and as you can see, I greased it with some butter. You want to make sure there's a nice amount of butter. And we're just going to get our fish mixture. And we're going to just add it to the base. Very nice, very easy, as you can see. And what we're going to add to it are some hard-boiled eggs. And I did 6 hard-boiled eggs that I'm going to slice and then cut up into quarters. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to cut it in quarters. Okay. And we're just going to place them on top sporadically, put them around. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you could do it any way you want. Just think it looks kind of pretty. I mean, it's going to be covered anyway with the souffle, but it just looks pretty as you're doing it. Using the egg. And now we're going to put our souffle on top. So I'm just going to scatter the souffle those extra breadcrumbs. I'm just going to sprinkle those around. We're going to bake this at a 350-degree oven for around 25 to 30 minutes. Make sure you preheat your oven. All right, we'll be back. It is done and it looks so great. So it has been in the oven for 25 minutes, so between 25 and 30 minutes is when it should be done. But I noticed my croutons are getting slightly brown, and I thought, yep, it is time to take them out. All right. We're gonna let this sit for a little bit, and then we're gonna have a taste test. Stay tuned. So we're going to, let me get some, look at that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous. Oh, wow. So So beautiful. Look at that. Let me have a little bite. Mmm. Absolutely delicious. So, so good. This is the first course that we are going to have for our 7 fish Christmas dinner, Italian dinner. And what I plan on doing, I got these really pretty plates that have 5 sections. And then I'm gonna put 2 extra plates on the side to have the 7 different fish courses. So they're not gonna be huge at Christmas time. It's just gonna be like a little bit of everything. And this is the very first one that I'm sharing with you guys. So you have from now until Christmas to perfect it. It is so delicious. It tastes so good. The other fish courses, well, you'll just have to watch Happy Healthy Living and find out what they're going to be. But like I said, I'm going to showcase one every month. And this is the very first one, my fish pie. So, so delicious. Thank you so much for joining us today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living and happy cooking. Bye-bye.